Alrighty, so let's jump into our next video for our pixel art. Here's my little guy that I made. It's a knight in armor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the next step in our process, which is making an idle animation for our little character. So I'm going to go over a couple like tips and tricks that you can do to get like a nice easy idle animation. So we're going to do two things. We're going to kind of bob him up and down, and we're also going to try and add kind of like a breathing effect a little bit to our guy right here. All right, so a really easy way to get a simple idle animation is to essentially just cut out some of the pixels of the leg. But the first thing that I'm going to do is we are going to frame our character to whatever height that they are. So I'm going to count the amount of pixels that my character is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 pixels tall, so I'm going to go over. So I'm going to go right here, resize. We're going to anchor our character to the bottom, so that is like the part of the frame that is going to stay the same. We're going to change it to 25 by 25. We want to maintain aspect ratio, and we'll hit resize. There we go. So now our window is resized correctly. And let's go ahead and create first idle animation. So I'm going to add a new frame here. You can see here that the little animation player here starts going crazy. I'm just going to turn this down to 1 frame per second, just so it's not as distracting. So what I'm going to do, oh whoops, I did this wrong. So let me delete that. I'm going to duplicate this frame because I'm going to use, a lot of the same pixels here to make this work. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is just make some cuts here to his leg. So I'm just going to erase these for now. We're going to do one line of pixels at a time. We're going to go here to our rectangle tool, highlight all of this. Oh, whoops, not our rectangle tool, sorry. We're going to go to the rectangle selection and highlight all of this and hold down Shift and move it down 1. There we go. So you can see now our animation is updating here over to the right, and we got a nice little bobbing up and down animation that is, just a nice, subtle, simple, but effective idle animation. But we're going to add one more layer to this. I'm going to duplicate this frame, and we're just going to take off one more layer just to have a 3-frame idle animation, or technically it's going to be a 5-frame. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to erase those parts of the leg, and we'll see how this looks. It might be too drastic of an effect, but let's find out. We won't know until we try. I have a feeling it's going to be too drastic, but we'll see. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate this second frame, because he's going to come back up, and drag it down here. So now if we speed this up, let's do 5 frames per second. Yeah, so, this is relatively straightforward. A more successful effect if we added some bending or something like that might be more effective. And maybe if I add the breathing effect here, it also might work. So let's give that a shot. So I'm just going to turn this back down to 1. And let's make him look like he's breathing. So this is our default state. And when he's coming down, I'm going to make it look like he's exhaling. So on the way down, he's going to be exhaling, so his chest is going to get smaller. On the way up, he will, the chest will get larger to show that he's inhaling. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. So I'm just going to use my eraser tool and actually move his shoulders down. Actually, I think that's going to be a better way to represent that kind of movement with this kind of character. So let me select. I'm going to select his whole arm here. So I'm going to use the lasso tool for this one. There we go. Hold shift. I'm going to bring this down 1 pixel. Like that. I'm going to do the same exact thing for this arm. Bring it down 1 pixel. Again. Okay, so his shoulders came down too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, I'm going to get rid of these, and we're going to kind of just restart that process. And now I'm going to duplicate this frame. And we will erase this layer of the leg. Like this, hold shift, bring it down, and let's see how that looks. And let's bring the shoulders down 1 more time, I think. We'll see if that's gonna look good or still might be too drastic, but we shall find out. Okay. Shift that down 1. This might end up looking not too good, so let's see. I am not a pixel artist, so I'm sure your art is gonna look far better than mine. But let's see how this turns out. So I'm gonna duplicate this one, move it here. Not bad, actually. Up to 5. It's kind of a little much, but also it kind of works at the same time. The effect is there. Could definitely just use some tweaking though. I like it. I don't know about you guys, but I think that looks pretty good. So there we go. So that's what you want to do, is we're just getting a simple idle animation going for our characters. So toy around with, some different effects. We can make it look like your character's breathing. Maybe you can rotate their head and make their eyes move, something like that. We just want to communicate to the player that the thing that's in front of them, the player that they are controlling or the character that they're controlling is doing something. This conveys to the players like this is something that is potentially interactable. So have fun with this, come up with some exciting animations, and I really look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. I'm sure it's going to put mine to shame.